Friday, April 22nd edition of the Carolina Weather Video. I'm meteorologist Matthew East here with you, and today across the Piedmont zone is going to feel more like a February type of day, with most areas along the Interstate 85 corridor and up into the foothills only in the 50s throughout the course of the day. But a quick temperature turnaround, and by the time Easter Sunday gets here, it'll feel more like a June day, as the warmth and even fairly type of muggy type of conditions begins to move on in. The radar this morning, we've had one wave of rain move through overnight through the Piedmont. The next area of rain and thunderstorms gathering down into Georgia and South Carolina that is lifting northeast, and there'll be another wave of rain that lifts throughout the course of the day today. And it'll be kind of a chilly, occasionally rainy day. More on that in a second. Pretty interesting phenomenon around Waco, Texas early this morning. The temperature shot up from 77 to 90 degrees in about a 30-minute time frame, as it looks like a heat burst occurred from a decaying thunderstorm. Kind of interesting to note that. Otherwise, you see this kind of band of at least areas of rain and thunderstorms. That's along a warm front that's now parked off to our south. And some active severe weather with some of that activity, especially in parts of Kansas and western Missouri early this morning. Now, interesting temperature map this morning. One of our cold air damming configurations in place. High pressure centered right about there. A lot of the New England states are in the 20s. The New England up in, especially the Northeast, in the 20s this morning. And that cooler air draining down the eastern side of the mountains. At the same time, though, still very warm and muggy across the southern plains and the deep south, and there'll be a lot of highs well up into the 80s, even some low 90s, while we're sitting, at least in most of the Piedmont, in the 50s today. All right, thunderstorm outlook. A pretty good severe weather day is probably on the way through parts of the Ohio Valley and into portions of the plains. Some pretty high probabilities, especially when looking at the hail potential today. And just a sneak peek at next week, looks like another pretty good severe weather event's on the way toward the middle part of the week. As we're looking at a day 4 and day 5 outlook there through parts of the plains and the Ozarks, and that system then shifts eastward Wednesday into Thursday. And I kind of mentioned this on the video yesterday. This is going to be a pretty big deal, I'm afraid. Look at the total rain amounts. This is a 5-day total from the HPC, and this only goes through Wednesday. There'll be even some more, I should say, it goes through Tuesday evening. There'll even be some more rain thereafter, but you're looking at 8, 9, maybe 10 inches of rain in parts of the mid-Mississippi Valley and the Ozarks and into the Ohio Valley, 3, 4, 5 plus inches. And there's going to be some flooding issues with that, undoubtedly. Here's the upper air chart for today off the European model. This is valid this afternoon. And again, pretty much a zonal flow aloft here across the region. But again, the deal here, what's going on underneath that is that cold air damming scenario. And here's what the European looks like by early in the morning on Tuesday. Notice a pretty good trough diving in, interacting with all that warm and muggy air, and that spells severe weather back in those places that are in that day 4 and 5 outlook that I showed you a second ago. So again, today we'll see kind of waves of rain moving through, cloudy, chilly conditions, but we'll quickly turn this type of pattern around. I think tomorrow morning, for Saturday morning, a lot of clouds, some drizzle, some light rain, but by afternoon, a good deal of sunshine, and most Piedmont highs up close to 80 degrees or so tomorrow. And then for Easter Sunday, it's well up into the 80s, mid to even some upper 80s for highs. So again, it's going to feel more like a June day for Easter Sunday. Monday, more of the same, mid to upper 80s, kind of warm, muggy conditions. In the meantime, there's that first area of low pressure beginning to organize. There'll probably be a couple of them develop and lift up to the northeast, and could be multiple waves of severe weather back through parts of the southern plains into the Mississippi Valley as we get into next week. All right, here is Tuesday evening. Warm, muggy conditions still around here. I've still kept Tuesday dry, but wouldn't surprise me if a couple of isolated storms were to pop up. And then we really see the core of the system begin to move in. Now, this is the GFS. This is Wednesday evening, and that is Thursday afternoon. So we'll see the core of the system, at least according to the GFS, move through from Wednesday evening, or I should say from Wednesday afternoon into Thursday. Here's how the European unfolds things. This is way back on Monday evening. First round of thunderstorms there through the southern plains into the lower Mississippi Valley. We go out to Tuesday evening, and the European even prints out some of that convection around here Tuesday evening. So we'll see. We might have to wind up wording for the chance of some storms late Tuesday. But certainly as we get into late Wednesday and certainly by Thursday morning, we'll see that next batch of rain and thunderstorms moving on in. And then behind that system, it looks like we get some really, really nice weather, likely by Friday of next week, the 29th, and into the following weekend. A nice push of some cooler, drier air. But this time of year, that normally means pretty good stuff, and I think it will be pretty nice by the end of next week. All right, that is it for this Friday, this Good Friday edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Have a great and blessed Easter holiday weekend, and God bless.